welcome to another edition of Catching Up. Today we have Whitman men's soccer alumnus Noah Cavanaugh joining the show. Noah is joining us all the way from Perth, Australia, where he is playing for Fremantle City Football Club. Noah, thanks for coming on. How's everything going down under? I know you had a game today, you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Last night we played and got a good result. And yeah, it's been beautiful down here and having a lot of fun.
And it's wintertime down there. What's the weather like?
Usually anywhere between 50 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's really, Perth winter is not really that bad at all.
And then actually what time and day is it there right now? It's 6 o'clock in the evening, Walla Walla on Tuesday. Where is it for you?
9 a.m. Wednesday, the 19th.
We got to go with dates, right?
Exactly.
All right. So those of you watching, just a quick rundown of Noah's Whitman career. He played 4 seasons for the Blues, graduated in 2018, 2-time All-Conference selection, Defensive Player of the Year, and All-Region selection his senior year. Since then, Noah, you've been playing professionally, domestically, and abroad. But maybe just give us a quick rundown of your professional career, where you've been playing, and when you've been playing, and for which clubs.
Absolutely. So it sort of started at a semi-professional level when I went abroad in Denmark. My junior year of college, I got a chance to play for a club called Oosterbro IF. That's a very American pronunciation of the word. But that was right in Copenhagen, Denmark, and sort of got a taste for what it was going to be like. Had a blast there, actually trialed for several other clubs. But because of NCAA rules, couldn't get paid or anything. So that's why I say semi-professional. We had basically everything else paid for, so to speak, but just couldn't get any monetary value for playing there. And then right after graduating, I went to Spain in the northern part and was in a really small town right by the French border called Irun, which is about a 45-minute train ride outside of San Sebastian. A lot of people know where San Sebastian is because it's a vacation spot for a lot of people. Played for a professional team there called Real Union de Irun, and it was a fantastic experience. It was in the summer in Spain, so it was really warm. Made some good friends there, and actually was able to play with a buddy of mine, one of my best friends from high school, who we had split for college but ended up back in Spain together. So that was a great experience. And then came back to the United States, played for the Pac-23s, the Pac Northwest U23s, and competed in, I believe I'm trying to remember the name of the league. But anyway, so trained with them through most of the springtime and just into the summer, and then flew down and trialed and ended up making and getting signed for Los Angeles Force, which is in the National Independent Soccer Association, the NISA, in the 3rd division of the US, and lived and trained and played down there. That was a very fun team to be on. Extremely competitive. We had guys from all over the place, national team players, from a couple from Africa, some South American national team players, very, very good level there. And then took about a month on sort of the Christmas break, basically, which is where most players get transferred or re-signed or whatever, and then flew down to Australia. It was about a 3-week period where I got the phone call from my agent and the coach and turned around and flew down to Perth.
Yeah, let's just, we'll start right there. Playing in Australia. I was just talking to you before we got on about the coronavirus situation. You said that the season had to halt for a little bit, but I know that by and large, professional leagues around the world, soccer, have been navigating coronavirus pretty well. Talk about that pause in your league and how you guys were able to get back and get things going again.
Absolutely. So I flew down here January 10th, and Australia, just in general, because it's so remote, and Perth being, I think, the most remote major city in the world, we had an especially late introduction to the coronavirus. So we had only 8 weeks of no training and stuff. Prior to that, I had eight preseason games essentially, and then the 2 weeks right before we were supposed to start the actual season, the government basically said, "Hey, no more. We can't do anything. You got to stay at home." Stayed in at home and trained by myself and with a small group of teammates for about 8 weeks, and then we were able to start up again and have been playing a game a weekend plus several trainings during the week ever since then. So it's been
So you're able to
we've been
train in small groups during that time? Is that right?
yeah, I actually live with a teammate of mine who is from New York, and he and I are under
Okay,
the same agency. So he and I were able to train together, plus a few other guys who I knew were being pretty careful.
good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so I want to go back also. I'm kind of really interested in your international experience. Obviously, I think many people are. You you started off in Spain. Kind of talk about that transition from you're in your spring semester here at Whitman. You end up graduating. Talk about that decision to try and make it a go professionally, and how the you ended up in Spain.
Yeah, so I got the opportunity after doing a ton of research about different places to play, visa situations, and had a few conversations with a guy who ended up being like a pseudo agent to bring me over to Spain. And he had had many years over there, had experience in the league, and then had a connection with this with Real Union, and kind of bit the bullet and said, you know what, I've got to make this work, and this is what I want to do, and why not start in a place that's known for being really really good for football, or for
Sure.
soccer, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to play professionally, so that was really a non-negotiable for me. Obviously, my parents and some friends and some other family are kind of like, hey, whenever you want to go back to school and be and do your like long-term career, go for it. But I mean, I'm loving every minute of it and taking care of myself financially, and so it's
Good.
not really a problem. I've just enjoyed it a lot. So got over there, and it was a different level for sure from the university. And not to downplay my college experience, because that was incredible and that's a great level to play at, but it's a very different game when you go over to a place that's produced some of the best players in the world.
What did you like most about playing there and now in Australia? I guess talk about your experience playing there and just living in Spain and Australia. Talk about the two.
Sounds good. So yeah, so Spain was we were in I was in a living situation that was probably, not as great. It's one of those situations where you just kind of got to grind. And I was in, a super small room with a small toilet bathroom combination, and
So just like Walla Walla, right? Same thing.
yeah, yeah, right.
Of course
Exactly.
not.
Um, and none of the buildings have air conditioning, and it's very, again, these are things that don't really matter when you're over there. But and then you come back to the US, and it's like everything's a very different game. So uh, life in Spain is very simple. The people there aren't concerned at all with income other than to as a means to live, and so it's never money was never an issue over there. As far as like, we would get paid late and nobody cared about it, and those types of things. The play itself is much more technical. So a lot of the if people have watched if you've watched the Spanish team who won the 2008 Euros, 2010 World Cup, and then 2012 Euros, that team could play the ball and was incredibly technical. And that showed even in the youth sides all over the country. So that was much different from, I mean, in college we tried to play pretty soccer, I suppose, but in Spain it was a different, like totally different level. I mean, every single player on the field could dribble, could pass like perfectly every time, and all that. And then down here in Australia, it's a very much of a different situation. We have my roommate and I have a house that the team provided for us, and we're living, incredibly comfortably. We're really lucky to be in a situation like this. And there's a large English influence in Australia, obviously. So we, we play a very direct style of football, which is
Sure.
a little different. So just getting used to that and enjoying it and finding my role in the team. And that's sort of the major differences, I suppose.
I always end these interviews. I wanted to find out what you thought about your Whitman experience. Just talk about playing here and um, just your experience playing on the team, being at school those 4 years. What are your thoughts? What are some of the things that really stand out to you?
I miss college soccer just from the standpoint of, studying on the bus and being with all my buddies, and what an incredible experience to live and, I guess, work with your best friends. And a lot of these guys I stay in contact with and enjoy talking to this day, several years after graduating. Um, so I had a coaching change, I guess, right after my first year, right in the spring, we went through a coaching change, and that sort of offered me the opportunity to really buckle down and say, okay, a new coach is coming in. I want to make sure that I'm going to be playing my best for the team and helping out the team in the best way possible. Coach Cedeno was incredible in helping me get connected with some people in the professional game, and has really helped and been a great resource since then. And he really, kind of said, hey, if you really want to do this, here's some things that I want you to focus on and prepare yourself, because your expectation of your play has to be here, even if the college level is here. And that's, and to be fair, the college level was great. It was really high, and it was fun to play. And I got really lucky with some individual awards, but we were this close to the league title my senior year, and obviously they won the year after I graduated. So it was really cool to see how that program, through his recruiting and through the help that my class, sort of with the transition year and everything, helped them to grow into the team that they are today, competing for the title every year. So that's been super fun to watch.
Oh, fantastic. Where are you in your season right now? Are you head toward the playoffs? How's the team doing? I know
Yes,
Champions League obviously is coming to a close soon. Are you along the same schedule?
sort of, yeah. So we're actually going to extend into, I believe, the middle of October. So we're actually not. The season, the league decided to basically go one round through. So I think there's 12 or 13 teams. So we play basically a round robin all the way through for 12 rounds or 13 rounds. And then based on those, they split us up into two brackets, I guess, and then play a tournament style for the winner.
Okay.
And because of coronavirus, they decided that there's no promotion or relegation this year, which is kind of a bummer. But at the end of the day, we're still getting, I'll probably end up with the preseason games before COVID. I'll end up getting 30 plus games under my belt down here.
Good.
Yeah. So that's, my guess is we'll end around the middle to the end of October.
Well, good. Well, hey,
Mhm.
Noah, thanks a lot for coming on. It was fun catching up with you and hearing about your professional career, and I'm sure everybody was interested, and now they're all in the know. So
Yeah.
best of
Thank
luck
you.
the rest of the season, and yeah, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.